Yo, what's good, Gripper13 here back in the day, and today we are here for another hashtag Torben Tuesday. For those of you guys unaware what Torben Tuesday is, the Tuesday before Playground Games does their update series live stream, they go ahead and post an image very similar to this one right here over on their Twitter page, and throughout this image are some hidden clues that decipher what we can expect in the next series update. However though, due to the coronavirus and all that sort of stuff, all the employees over at Playground Games are staying home, which is where you probably should be right now. If you're out and about, if you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, go home. Please just go home. Stay home. Don't spread the virus. Stay healthy. That's all I can say about that topic. But instead of Torben Tuesday, our typical image and all that sort of stuff, we instead got 4 clues for us to decipher what cars we will see in Series 21. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. So starting things off with clue number 1, we have 1,000 words doesn't begin to cover this. And there's really only one car on our leaked car list that has to deal with the number 1,000. Because if I was just seeing this normally, and maybe if we didn't have the Bugatti Veyron in the game, I might think it's a Veyron. However though, looking at the leaked car list, there's only one car like I mentioned earlier, and that is the 2012 Shelby GT1000. And this thing is absolutely bonkers. It has 950 horsepower from a supercharged 5.4 liter V8. As well, there's even a track-only version, the SC, which produces 1,100 horsepower. So if you thought that Mustangs ate crowds, just wait till these things get on. They are going to just devour the crowds like a shark. Giggity goddamn, these things are super freaking powerful. Little design changes were made with the GT1000, but overall when you look at this car, it kind of looks like just any regular old Mustang. It doesn't really scream, hey, I have 1,000 horsepower. I mean, shoot, I even think the GT500, with all of its different wacky color combinations and the stripes and all that sort of stuff, really screams like, hey, I'm a fast car. And I'm sure you can probably get that on the GT1000, but a lot of them were made to be sleepers. You know, just a nice basic paint job. You know, they did have some design changes with the hood, a splitter, and a diffuser, which were all functional. And really, most people would just look at that car and go, oh, it's a Mustang, it's got a little body kit on there. But Mustang fans will look at it and go, holy shit, and they're going to shit themselves and just be like, that thing is going to just destroy everything here. I need to get out of here before I end up being eaten by this thing. So that's what we're going to be getting there. We are getting the 2012 Shelby 1000. I'm very excited to see how people treat this. Is it going to be mainly a drift car, or I feel like a lot of people are probably going to take it to the drag strip. The drag community is going to have a heyday with this thing. I can't wait to see how people actually treat this car. It's very, very interesting. It's very interesting. Moving on to clue number 2, what we have is a series of numbers. We have 32T, 516573, 4905647. Now the thing is I knew exactly what this was right away. I don't know if a lot of you guys did either. Most people here probably have heard of longitude and latitude, and that is the main coordinate system that most people use to differentiate a location here on Earth. The thing is though, there are so many other different geo-referencing systems out there, and one of them is called Universal Transverse Mercator, also known as UTM. And what that is essentially the whole world is divided into zones. And on each zone, they have a grid system that is 1 meter by 1 meter. And each meter has its own number. So what we have here is we have zone 32, 32T, the T standing for transverse. And then you head east 516,573 meters. And then north 4,905,647 meters. And where this puts us is in the town of Portofino, Italy, which leaves us with really only one option there, and that is the 2019 Ferrari Portofino with 592 horsepower from a GTC4 Lusso 3.9 liter V8 engine, which has been slightly detuned for the Portofino. This thing is going to be a lot of fun to drive. I think this car looks absolutely gorgeous. It looks a lot better in my opinion than its predecessor, the Ferrari California. But this car, like I said, it replaces the California. This thing is not necessarily the typical Ferrari, because when a lot of people think of Ferrari, they think of a hard, fast supercar, like the 488, the 458, the 812 super fast. They think of those cars. This is a luxury Grand Tourer. It is an entry-level Ferrari. It's one of the cheapest ones that you can actually purchase brand new. This is a car that you would rather see on Rodeo Drive or at the shopping mall or somewhere like that, because this is bought by people who say, I want a Ferrari, but I also want something that is luxurious and comfortable. It doesn't have 4 seats like, say a Bentley Continental, but it's still a luxurious, comfortable riding car, but it's also at the same time a 592 horsepower Ferrari. It's still an absolute beast to drive, but at the same time, it's comfortable. It has all the luxuries and amenities. If you think about like a 488 Pista, that thing, they rip out the radio, they rip out the AC, they do all these kind of things. I don't know if they actually did that on the Pista or not, but they make the cars light. They make them perform and handle. They make them less luxurious for us. But that's what we want, because we're car guys. The average layperson, though, if they finally get enough money to buy a Ferrari, this is the one they're going to get. This is the car they're going to get. And of course, like I said earlier, it's named after Portofino, Italy, which is it's a resort town. That's what it is. It's a resort town by the ocean. It's a Grand Tour. That's where it's meant to be. Moving on to clue number 3, what we have is mark with the Roman numeral 3 in parentheses, our words, GA70. So basically, you can pretty much just throw away 2 words and you know exactly what we're getting. A Mark III A70. That's what we're getting right there. If you don't know what that is, let me go ahead and explain. The Toyota Supra A70. It's not the most famous Toyota Supra, because everybody talks about the A80, or we had the new Supra come out, so the A90, which honestly looks absolutely fantastic. And those wide body kits, oof, they look so good. They look so damn good. But the Mark III Toyota Supra was really kind of the first true Supra, because the previous 2 generations were associated with the Celica. This was the first generation that had no association with the Celica anymore. They finally split and became their own models. This one, though, is a 232 horsepower 3-liter 7M GTE. It's not necessarily the fastest one that was in the lineup. The fastest one was actually a 276 horsepower 1JZ, which honestly, why they didn't give us the 1JZ, I don't know. But it'll probably end up being able to get the 2JZ swap, so that is pretty awesome. But instead, we got the 7M GTE, which is still a pretty dang good motor. But the thing is, though, is it's not very popular because it's not that good looking. It's an 80s sports car. And I don't know about you, but for me, 80s sports cars don't look that great. There's a handful out there that look really good, like some of the Ferraris and stuff, but when it comes to this, like the Mazda RX-7, the Supra, the Corvette, they look terrible in the 80s. Like, they are just absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. This one exactly kind of looks like an ST-185 fucked a 2nd gen Mazda RX-7. It's not that good looking. The 944 is halfway decent, but overall, it doesn't look as pretty as, say, a 911 does today. They're just, to me, they just don't look very good. And I feel like a lot of people share that thought and opinion. I mean, look at the Fox Body Mustang. That's not a very pretty car, but they're so cheap and they're easy to work on that people buy them up. They use them as drift cars. There's a guy in my town, he's got a drift car, and it's a Mustang Fox Body. But this car, this A70 Supra, it's got a face only a mother can love. Then finally move on to our final clue, which is, we're still friends, I'll be your barista. So, this is a clue that leads towards the show Friends, which I had to get a little bit of help on this one from the comment section because I've never seen Friends. I know. I've watched like a couple episodes, but not enough to really know the plot or the storylines of the show. So, honestly, this one was a little difficult for me. However, though, as it turns out, the barista in the show Friends, his name is Gunther. And there's a car on the leak list that has to deal with Gunther. And that is the Porsche 993 Gunther Works 400R. which is a super modified version of a 993, starting at $525,000. Only 25 of these things are made. If you are going to spend $525,000 on a Porsche 993, holy hell, you have got some money to blow, and you must love Porsches. Like, seriously, imagine what you could do with $525,000 with any car, really. I mean, there's some cars that you still couldn't buy, like, you know, a Chiron. You couldn't go out and buy a Chiron with $525,000, although it'd make a damn good down payment. You know, when you think about it, like, if you had $525,000, I would go out and I'd buy a Huracan, twin turbo that thing. It would be the craziest Huracan on the road, because what, a Huracan costs like $360,000. That's $140,000 in upgrades for the thing. Absolutely wild and insane. I'd have the coolest damn Huracan on the block. But what they did with the 993 is they did bore out the motor to create a 4-liter flat 6 engine, pushing out more than 400 horsepower. The thing that they did with this is they turned it into a modern supercar. It's basically a modernly engineered supercar with a 993 body. It's got Alcantara interior, it's got exhaust modes. You push a button, you gain 30 horsepower. The exhaust opens up and roars to life. You have upgraded suspension so you can handle the turns and you're not crashing into a tree in a roundabout. You've also got Brembo brakes, etc, etc. This thing was designed to be a good driving car. It's not necessarily made to put down the fastest lap times, because, you know, if you wanted fast lap times, go buy a Nissan GTR, throw 1,000 horsepower in it. Boom, you're done. But no, this is designed for the Porsche enthusiast. Someone who loves Porsche so much that they're willing to drop $525,000 on a Porsche. It's just absolutely insane. Like, this is a Porsche Bros ideal car. It is the singer of the 993. It's just absolutely wild and insane. We're never going to get to drive these in real life, probably. There's only a select few. Like I said, only 25 made. So, Forza, this is your chance to ever drive one of these. So anyway, though, that's where we're going to wrap things up for today. Leave a comment down below and let me know, which car are you most excited about? For me, it is the Ferrari Portofino. I absolutely love that car. I love the way this thing looks, and I've been asking for this car to be coming to Forza for quite some time. Coming in second for me is probably the Gunther works. I think that thing being so unique and rare, even though it is a 993, which you already have in the game, it's an opportunity for us to experience something that no one else would. The A70 Supra, not necessarily the biggest fan. I think that Mustang is just going to eat too many crowds. I think that keeping the power down is just going to be way too hard. But anyway, though, if you want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Grid413 and Instagram.com/Grid413. And if you like this video, go make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you guys already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe when it's coming out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. Bye.